Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. InshaAllah, all of you guys are doing well. I'm here today with my brother in the flowery shirt, Muhammad Hijab, mashallah. For a big man, he does have a little bit of a feminine taste. I'm only joking. Basically, brothers and sisters, this is another advice and chill video. Now, I've been getting a lot of you guys' emails. Don't worry, inshallah, we're going to be going through them. A lot of them that we actually had a problem with are kind of fatwa related questions that need a sheikh. So what I'm going to try and do is also get a sheikh on board as well, inshallah, that we can also do some of the videos with. Without further ado, you guys know I struggle with that. This is a problem, bro, that I've had multiple emails about that we're choosing to speak about today. Let's go straight into this email that I actually haven't read this one. So let's just go straight into it. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Sorry in case you already received this. I'm just sending it again. Okay, I hope you're well, inshallah. I'm hoping you might be able to advise me on an issue I've been having for the last 2 years. A couple of years ago, I participated in a 3-week-long activity consisting of challenges, projects to help the youth, etc. This involved both boys and girls around the ages of 16 to 17, all of whom came from different backgrounds, and I vividly remember seeing and meeting this extremely good-looking Muslim girl. Yeah,
he's really complimenting.
He was extremely, mashallah, she was extremely good looking, man. I vividly remember seeing and meeting this extremely good looking girl.
They repeated the same construction there, extremely good.
Who I immediately fell for and developed a crush on, as they call it.
Okay.
During the whole process, I only spoke to her once, but after it all finished, I would think about her quite often, but never with the intention of getting to know her, as I knew this was strictly forbidden, like, meaning he means dating and stuff like that. So, before I could forget about her, over the next year I ended up seeing her in random places. That is peak. Imagine you're seeing her all over the place.
Maybe it's just unconscious, isn't it?
Yeah. No, brother. I'm sure he was seeing it. I'm sure he's not that deep.
Okay.
But on one hand, it felt like a burden and my mind was so occupied with thoughts.
Yeah.
Right now, I haven't seen her for about a year and I'm upset that the thoughts still haven't left me. I seriously believe I'm infatuated and have a big problem on my hands. Alhamdulillah, everything else regarding my Islam is doing well. It's just this one issue. What would you advise? Sometimes I think to myself that maybe she could be the one that all these randoms meeting I didn't have control over might have meant something. Could you please help me with this? I have checked the internet and there seems to be nothing much advice available pertaining this important topic. Thank you for taking your time out to read this. So,
yeah. Okay, well, look, you know, this is actually a really interesting case study, but it's not.
It is.
It's not anomalous. Let's be honest. This happens all the time with people. Like, do you know what I'm saying? This is a very common trend. In fact, most people in the world are gonna feel that kind of way for someone, and that's just the way the world works. In fact, from a social anthropological perspective, right? A woman called Helen Fisher.
yeah.
She's like a love expert, as you would call it. Yeah.
Okay.
She talked about the effect. She done lots of studies on the effects of love on the human mind and from a neurological perspective. And what she found interesting, and what is interesting, is that the same neurological pathways are activated when you're in love or in a state of infatuation, attachment, whatever you want to call it, as are activated when you are addicted to, for example, cocaine or any of the drugs.
Yeah.
So this is a very potent, I would say even more powerful emotion than most love, that is, or feeling, attachment, infatuation. And it's a natural thing, yeah? Now the thing is, a lot of people say that you can't control who you love and you can't control how you love and all these kind of things. And there is an element of truth in that. But the truth is this, look, if you want to achieve, I personally believe the following. If you want to achieve self-mastery, meaning like you really have a mastery of your own inner desires, yeah? It's not necessarily that we're saying that you're going to be able to control this emotion. It's a wild emotion. It's a very complex emotion. We don't even know how it works fully. But what we are saying is that you can control the amount of exposure time you have to that which triggers that emotion.
Yes.
And if you are exposed to something more, you're going to be getting the consequences of that. So in other words, your attachment will grow. My advice in a nutshell really is, if you're serious about, not just to this brother, but anyone who's facing...
It happens to a lot of sisters as well.
Yeah, brothers and sisters. Of course it would, yeah. It's part of the human condition and the natural psychological state. I'm saying for anyone like that, I would say detachment is number one. Distraction is number two.
Yes.
Yeah. And number 3 is that it will fade away in the context of your life.
Yes, it will.
So that's why I feel
100%.
that's going to happen.
You know what, bro? Jazakallah khairan for that. Because to add on to that, my sister was talking to me the other day. And my sister's, she's not the youngest person ever. She's like 17.
Okay.
Whatnot
Same
now.
kind of age as
Yeah, so she's at the sort of age where she might feel infatuated towards someone, whatnot. Alhamdulillah, thank God it wasn't a situation with her. But she was telling me about one of her friends.
Yeah.
Actually being so infatuated with one of my friends. Don't worry, it's not you, yeah? Don't get excited. Basically, it was a situation, bro, where she was like, this girl is not forgetting about him. And literally, imagine, bro, they've never met.
So when we get to Ali?
It's not Ali. Who would be infatuated with Ali? Yeah, no, I'm only joking. Basically, yeah, it's one of my friends, and he doesn't even know, actually, because I don't want to gas him up.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah.
But, she wanted to approach him for marriage. She hasn't even met the guy. She hasn't even spoken to him. Yeah? She's just seen him. And this happens, guys, with so many of us. And I'll say us. Because even when I was younger, it happened with me. You'll see a girl and you'll think, wow, she is really pretty. You know that? Yeah? And instantaneously, you will start imagining yourself with her. You'll go home.
Wow.
She'll stay in your head. You'll think, what if I got married to her? All of these things. Believe it or not, these thoughts actually go through people's minds.
Yeah.
And
it's not unbelievable. I think it's very common.
It's actually extremely common. Where and especially if you're in college or in uni, where you're seeing this girl walk all over the place. She's in the corridor one day. She's in your class next day, whatnot. It's bound to happen. And as Muhammad Hijab, mashallah, like what you said was about the detachment. Yeah. But what I actually want everyone to question themselves about, is why are you feeling like this? What is making you feel like wanting to be with this person for the rest of your life? Question yourself. When you question yourself, one of the things that you'll realize is it's a very, very shallow thing. And what do I mean by that? It's not her deen. You're not looking at her and thinking, wow, this girl would be a great mother to my children. This girl would be a great long-term partner. Me and this girl are compatible in so many ways. No, it's you just looking at her and thinking, wow, she's really pretty, you know that. And because of that emotion that, as you said, we find so hard to control inside us, you're thinking, I can really be with this girl. Because that emotion is strong in you. So what I would say to anyone going through this, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be going through this, is question yourself.
I like this. It's a good point.
Yeah, look, because bro, when you start questioning yourself, why am I thinking this? Okay, it's just because of her looks. Will her looks raise my children?
Okay,
Will her looks go a long way when I'm arguing with her and she's swearing at me?
Or his looks.
Yeah, or his looks, exactly. Will his looks, because subhanAllah, there's a lot of guys out there that people might feel attracted to, whatnot. Some of them may not be financially stable. You might just like him for his looks, and because of his looks, subhanallah, bro, the girl she's saying, I want to be with him, I want to marry him, I can't get him out of my head. Little do you know, if you were to marry him and live with him, he would not even be able to feed you properly. After a month, when you've done whatever you are dreaming of doing with this guy, you're going to think, wow, this guy can't even feed me. You're going to start looking at other guys or who've got money. And do you understand? And why is this happening? Because you're infatuated with the wrong things, essentially. And not that looks is a bad thing. If you're a brother that came and said, you know what, bro, I've seen this sister, mashallah, and
that's one of the things
I'm thinking
said,
in a level-headed manner.
Yes.
You're thinking, like, not in an... Monitor yourself. This is why I'm saying question yourself. Are you thinking in an extremely stalkerish way? Where wherever you see this girl, you're like, wow. Oh my God, like, are you thinking like that? Or are you thinking, you know what? You know what, bro? This sister, mashallah, she's got good manners. She comes from a good family. I've seen her dad. I've seen her family.
And she looks good.
She looks good. She's got deen on her side. She's a really modest sister. I want to approach her.
That's right.
One of the things that you'll notice...
These 4 things, why did you mention them?
Because, of course, this is from the advice of the Prophet ﷺ, where the things that he told us to look for in a person is the deen, the looks, all of these sort of things. The family, all of, etc., and the money, the things that I mentioned. If a girl doesn't have any of these things, or if she only has one of these things, then you're kind of settling for...
Right.
You're only settling for one thing. When you could look, and I'm not saying look for a girl with all 4 things, but maybe you could get a girl with 2 things. She's got the deen and the looks. Maybe she's got the deen and the money. Maybe she's got the money and the good family that she comes from. Do you understand? And the same goes with a guy. A lot of you sisters, especially with online people, yeah. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. We're saying it in a way where we understand where you're coming from. Because we might have even been through that, yeah? But this is advice from maybe your older brothers or brothers in deen, obviously, you know what I mean, yeah? But, like, what you need to really do, especially sisters who look up to brothers who are in this public platform, yeah? You think because we're in the public platform, we can talk about because we're in the public platform, that we have money. We have, mashallah, I don't know, we're living a beautiful, luxurious lifestyle. I don't know what they think, yeah? Or because we're popular, I don't know. It's just the popularity attracts you. Akhi, we know each other. And we know a lot of the popular brothers, whatnot. Aside from the deen aspect, which we all try and have, alhamdulillah, yeah? Which a sister could say, you guys have the deen aspect, which we do try and have. Is there anything special about us?
Let me tell you the truth here, guys, and I'm going to tell you guys.
Walaikum salam. Brother Mahmoud has just walked in the building. Is he about to walk into the shot? You can walk into the shot.
This is how natural it can be. I was going to say, man,
Yes.
we need to redo the shot.
No. It can be natural. It's okay. What were you saying, bro?
I'm on his vlog again.
No, it's not.
I want to make this. It's a good opportunity for me to get this kind of not off my chest, but like in a sense. But look, I want to say this. We're good speakers.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I know that's a strength of mine. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? We have a little bit of knowledge of
Listen,
the
bro,
deen.
let's not talk
No,
about
hold
my
on.
strengths,
No,
yeah,
hold on.
because
Listen, just because I don't want people to think that those two things are all that you can see on the internet, like that we can speak good
that's it, yeah.
and that we can convince you nicely and that we can quote an ayah and that we might know some, sociological facts.
Or we might be pleasing to look at. I'm not saying it like about myself, but
Okay.
I'm saying like about any other brother that you might see in the
that's
public.
something else. But what we're saying here is that, look, in terms of how I am inside of my house, I can only speak on my own behalf, yeah? I really don't. I wouldn't rate myself. I really would not rate myself personally.
Neither would I.
I'm not going to rate myself because I feel like I haven't got the, let's say, the ijazah from my family yet. Meaning, since the ijazah is like an Islamic terminology where they say you got a certificate for completing X thing. The point being is that what you see is what you kind of get. Yeah, we're not going to broadcast to you as people of, let's say, YouTube, that which goes wrong. We're not going to do that.
Exactly. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you're committing a sin, are you going to put that online?
Yeah, we're not going to put that online.
You're not going to put that
We're not
online.
going to put that online.
If in a picture it's a slip of you, you don't look good, are you going to put that online?
Well, that I'm not really too fussed
Okay,
about
that's
that.
you, innit? Me, I don't know. Yeah, do you get me? So like, I'm just being honest with a lot of the things that you see, but this is about online.
Yeah. No, this is a good point though, because what it is that now this is a really good.
Even
point.
about the person that you see in
it's
college.
it's not just people. Let's say with let's say a following. Yeah, it's
with
also
everyone.
the regular person.
Yes.
Who doesn't have a following, but once again, you've got to know him online. The online platform now is a very powerful platform, very engaging platform, very kind of attractive platform. Yeah, from that perspective, all you can see is Snapchats, you can see is Facebook posts, you can see is sometimes YouTube videos. That does not indicate to you what that person is really like. Yeah, you don't know me, you don't know Musa. You know parts of what Musa's like because he's probably more so than me because he does more like what
Vlogs and whatnot. Yeah.
Stuff. But you don't know what, for example, me. You don't know Ali. You don't know Mufti Menk. You don't know these people, what they're like in their real life. I don't know what I'm mentioning about. And any of the people that you see online,
You know what?
You don't know how they're like.
On that point, yeah, subhanallah. And guys, this isn't because some of you might be watching thinking, but I'm not infatuated with an online person. Fam, this is a real girl in my class, or this is a real boy in my class.
Okay,
I'm infatuated with.
But
yeah?
even that person.
But even that person, I'll
Yes.
show you guys how. So even adding on from what we've been talking about, yeah, about the whole online persona.
Yeah.
It actually matches with the offline persona. But before I go into the offline persona, online persona, let's talk about it, yeah? One brother, you don't really know him, yeah? But I know him well, yeah? And he gets a lot of attention from girls, yeah? And attention that you wouldn't want and I wouldn't want. Like really big fitna attention.
I don't want any
yeah?
attention.
Yeah?
Trust me.
And...
Yeah.
Bro, this guy, yeah, I was talking to him and I know him on a level and I was like, bro, if all of these people in the public actually knew you for what you are, and I wasn't saying it like you're an evil person, but situations in his life currently, things he's going through, financially, other things, yeah, which I won't get into, I was like, they wouldn't even message you. And he said, bro, I know that it's true. He said, it's so true. And that's why he said to me, I'm trying to look for someone who will accept me for all of these things. Because I know most of these people online, if they knew how I really am and the situations that I'm really in, financially, spiritually, all of these things, you wouldn't even message me. And the way that this matches with the person that you see in your college or in your class, you're only seeing a pretty face. You don't know what the girl's going through. You don't know if her dad's alive. You don't know what she's gone through.
Yeah.
You don't know. In your personality, you're the type of person. Let's say you're the type of guy. You know there's these guys out there. Fam, she has to be a virgin. She has to never have talked to any other guy. You don't know how many men she's been with. You don't know all of these things. All you're seeing is her pretty face.
It's true, man.
Literally, with a guy you're seeing in college, you're seeing his mashallah, his good looks, his charisma, his macho-ness, and I don't know what attracts girls nowadays. It's all mad. But you're not seeing the fact that he's selling drugs at night. You're not seeing that. You're not seeing the fact that his mum's not happy with him. You're not seeing the fact that he disrespects his mum. You're not seeing all of these things.
Yeah.
And he's not going to show you these things. And these are things that you need to be thinking about. Think in a mature way. And bro, just to conclude,
Yeah.
the three things that you mentioned. The detachment.
Yeah, what we said is that if you detach, then you distract. Yeah. After you've distracted yourself, the third thing is something which is a consequence, which it will fade away in the context of your life.
Yes, it will fade
By the
away.
way, there's a beautiful book for those who can read Arabic. It's called Ad-Dawa wad-Dawa. I'm not sure what it's called in English, but it's written by Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyya, The Medicine and the Cure, or something like this.
Yeah, I think that's what
it's called
it's
Medicine and the Cure. This book was actually written by Ibn al-Qayyim because he was approached by someone who had like homosexual tendencies.
Yeah.
And he said to Ibn al-Qayyim, like, I'm attached, I'm infatuated to
This guy.
a guy, yeah?
Yeah.
And so he said, okay, so he wrote a whole book talking about a range of different issues, and then he talked about love. And at the book, like, kind of the final chapters, he mentions different kinds of love, and he says that there's al-hubb al-madhmum. He says that the love which is hated, or is not good love, basically, yeah? And al-hubb al-mamduh, and basically the praiseworthy love, yeah? And he says praiseworthy love, and this is because the thing is, I think me and you have kind of talked about the negative aspects of being infatuated, but there are positive aspects as well.
Yeah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He has made for you spouses لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, so you can basically settle with them. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً, and He made between you love and mercy. Love is a natural, beautiful thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in us.
It is.
And what Ibn Qayyim says is that you've got two ways you can take it. Where it is not constructive for your progression, whether it be spiritual, physical, emotional, whatever it is, that's when you know it's not conducive to your cause. Where it is constructive and it will help you develop as a human being, from all mind, body and soul perspectives, that's the kind of love which you want to let blossom in the context of marriage.
And to put that into real life, brothers and sisters, what is that? The kind of love that's unhealthy is when you've seen someone and you're going nuts over them and stalkerish. That's unhealthy. That's not the positive one.
Anything you attach yourself to in this world, and this is a big statement, but I'm going to say it. Anything you over attach yourself with, anything, in this world, just remind yourself of the following. كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, everything on it will perish. The only thing that will remain, وَيَبْقَى وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ ذُو الْجَلَالِ وَالْإِكْرَامِ, that the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remain. In other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the qawi, is the strong. That's why we say, لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. There's no strength and power except for the will of Allah. If you rely upon that which is weak, you yourself will be weak. If you rely upon that which is all strong and can never be weak, you yourself will be strong.
Exactly.
So you cannot be dependent upon these materialistic, perishable things which are going to let you down by virtue of the fact that it's in this world.
And how do you not be dependent on these things? You look at things through the lens of for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's how you look at the things. And the positive love that we're talking about is the sort of love that you see through a level-headed mind. You're level-headed. You're not extreme in anything. You're not extreme in your emotion. You're not extreme in. Do you understand?
Yes.
You know when, for example, if someone's your dad, if my dad's in a situation, and he's acted in an immoral way, it's gonna be hard for me to say my dad acted in an immoral way. Why? Because I'm extremely emotionally attached to him. But you're not emotionally attached to him. So you will react to it in a level-headed way. We need to be able to react to things in level-headed ways. with our love, with everything.
Do you know when you know it's becoming very unnatural from an Islamic perspective? It says in the Quran, من الناس من يتخذ من دون الله أندادا يحبونهم كحب الله والذين آمنوا أشد حبا لله. That there are some people who take from other than God what is a nid, and that is the plural of the word nid, which means false gods. But why is it? يحبونهم كحب الله. They love them as they're meant to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
But the ones who believe in Allah truly,
Allahu
it says
Akbar.
أشد حبا لله. They really do love Allah more. In other words, if you feel as if you actually love someone, whether it be your son, your daughter, your wife, your fiance, or your husband, whatever it may be, and that love is starting to come to a level where you actually eclipsing the
You're
love
thinking
you have for
about
Allah
them 24/7,
Yeah.
and it's clouding you
that
from
could
Allah.
actually mean that they will control you, and this is where it becomes really dangerous. And you know what I'm talking about. A lot of you will know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
They will be able to control you in a way which is absolutely dangerous for your spiritual and your mental state.
100%.
Your mental state.
100%.
Even if you're an atheist, it would be dangerous for you for someone else to have the controlling aspects of your life.
To mention this for benefit,
Yeah.
In the past, there was one sister I spoke to for marriage, and my wife wouldn't even mind me talking about this for benefit, yeah. Akhi, I was whipped.
Oh?
I was whipped on another level. And bro, I was whipped in an unhealthy way, to the extent, bro, I was thinking about her 24/7. She literally became like, if I could say, like my thing at that time.
Wow.
That I'm thinking about 24/7. And that actually clouded me at that time from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Subhanallah.
It literally clouded me, bro.
SubhanAllah.
And I know for a fact a lot of you are going to be going through this.
Wow.
This is the problem, bro. Before some of these young people get married, they fall in love with each other before falling in love with their creator.
Allahu Akbar.
And because they haven't fallen in love with their creator, their ilah, their God, their Lord, it's so easy for them to literally think of someone else as their Lord.
Subhanallah.
It's so easy.
Yes, good
And
point.
brothers and sisters, this is what we need to stay away from. So, in a nutshell, the detachment,
Detachment, distraction,
the distraction,
and then what will happen is it will fade away.
it will
in the
fade away,
context of your
inshallah,
life.
eventually. And
Everything is forgotten. If your parents, listen to me, if your parents died today, yeah, and some of you, your parents would have already died, yeah, but if someone who you love, your child died, if your child died, yeah, that event is more powerful than the event of, for example, you falling in love.
and even that will be forgotten.
That will be forgotten eventually. You will suppress it. The mind has, from a Freudian
Subhanallah,
perspective,
it's
this
so true,
ability
it's so true.
to compress and suppress things into the unconscious mind. Yes, it will graze you. Yes, if you're reminded of it, you'll be
Here
sad.
and there.
But it will be suppressed. The mind cannot cope with that much grief and trauma.
Very true.
But do you know how you can get to that level really quickly? If you do feel like it could be حب ممدوح, in other words, there could be a long-term potential. Because we're not saying that every love is bad, by the way. That's not what we're saying.
Exactly, yeah.
If you feel like there's potential for this person, there could be a beautiful relationship and all these kind of things, yeah?
Do it in the level-headed way.
Do it in the let me tell you something. Do it in the straightforward way. Bring out the sword of straightforwardness, yeah? And cut through the jibber-jabber of basically the whole, what you would call it, getting to know period, which really isn't getting to know period. What it is, in fact.
Because if you're that sure, then you shouldn't need to get to...
Just straightforward. If basically you feel like this is going to happen, is let's get to the bottom of it. Let's get to the bottom line. Let's get the mahrams involved. Let's get the parents involved. Let's see if we can... If you feel straight away this is not going to happen, it can't happen from a familial perspective, from a financial perspective, whatever, then you detach. Then you know you need to recover.
Then you need to detach, because
Yeah.
you can't do that. And if you can't do that, what are you doing? You're leading your heart on a path that's very dangerous.
Yes.
Zina can happen.
Yes.
We spoke about in the last Advice and Chill video, brothers and sisters,
Yes.
where a sister, bro, she became pregnant because of a situation
Can I
that
tell you
led her to
something
that.
even worse than zina that can come from this?
Oh, shirk.
Wallahi shirk.
Shirk billah,
Wallahi shirk.
yeah.
Shirk akbar. Because you know what shirk akbar, what we're talking about?
Shirk billah, yeah.
One of the things you have to have for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you can't have for any other human being is love. You have to have more love for
Yes,
Allah and His
yes.
Messenger, and there's a hadith on there, that you will not believe.
Then your mother, then your father,
than anyone,
then your
unless
wife.
you love Allah and His Messenger more than anyone else. If basically you come to a stage where you're actually attaching yourself with a human being to the extent where actually prohibition, nahi, and command, amr, yeah, become part and parcel of your relationship with that person. They can tell you everything and you're absolutely attached to them in that way, then you are really close to or on the level of shirk. Especially if that person says something of, a contradiction to the to Quranic text, and you accept it.
It's so true.
As more true than the Quran.
It's so true. Subhanallah.
So that's more dangerous than zina, in a sense.
It's very true. And brothers and sisters, we need to avoid these dangerous situations by following the steps, inshallah, we spoke about.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that, inshallah. Add me on Snapchat if you haven't got me already. Follow Brother Muhammad Hijab on Instagram. He's become a little bit active on there, mashallah. Yeah. And we'll see you guys in the next video, inshallah. Look after yourselves. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And shout out to Iman channel for
hosting us.
Yeah.